$950. That's right, I was told it cost $950 to replace the alternator on this car. So I said, no thank you. And I took the car home, and here it sits. But no, the car's fixed now, and it only cost me $2. That's right, it only costed $2 to replace this part, and I saved myself $948. And sure, it took 2 hours of my time, but it was worth it. Now, this is quite a common problem with a lot of Nissans, not just this model. It applies to Nissans between the years 2002 to 2014. In this video, I'll help you diagnose the problem and obviously how to fix it. If this video helps you, please help me out and subscribe. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, let's start with the basics. This is the negative and positive terminal on the battery, which are connected to the alternator, which charges the battery. And this is the alternator. The positive terminal is attached to the positive terminal on the battery, and the negative is grounded to the engine through the casing. First thing you want to do is diagnose the problem, because you could just have a bad battery. If the alternator is working correctly, you should have a voltage of 14 volts or more at the battery terminal. So we have a reading of 12.13 volts. So we know the alternator is not producing enough power to charge the battery. In a few more minutes and the voltage is dropping. So we definitely know the alternator is not charging this battery. Now most of the time it's not an alternator problem. It's usually a connection problem. So we could have voltage loss between the positive terminals, or we could have a ground connection problem. So now we're measuring voltage drop. Anything above half a volt means you're losing power across this connection. And here we go. We're losing 2.3 to 2.4 volts across this connection. So this is telling me the alternator is making power, but I can't see any damage to the wiring or the terminal. And this is what I found by accident. The voltage loss is happening right here, and this will apply to 90% of cases if you have a Nissan alternator problem. So I'll put my red wire on the alternator, and the black is attached to the positive terminal. And watch what happens. Put it here and it says 0 voltage drop. It's telling me there's no alternator power. But put it here and we have 2.4 volts voltage drop, telling me the alternator is making power. Now if I put the lead on these two bits, it should say 0, but it's telling me 2.4 volts is being lost right here. Okay, so now we have a diagnosis. We need to figure out why this is happening, how to fix it, and obviously how to prevent it from happening in the future. First, we need to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. We need to remove the serpentine belt, loosen the tensioner, we need to remove 2 bolts holding the alternator in place and the positive terminal. Remove the voltage regulator harness. And here's our alternator. It's Hitachi, so you'd expect it to be a good quality brand. And here's the part number if you need it. And let's do a resistance reading. So almost no resistance on the bolt screw. And we have about 600 ohms of resistance between the nut and the bolt. The nut looks corroded and melted. So just turning this, I'm getting some resistance and there's a bit of a squeak. So this could be creating heat. So take the nut off. And here it is. We'll take the cover off. I'm going to lubricate the rotor. Take the pulley off. More lubricant on the side. Now it's spinning more freely. Put the cover back on. And here I'll fix it with my new $2 nut. And now we've got almost no resistance, so the problem is solved. Now go back and put the alternator back on the car. And that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. I'll have a lot more videos coming on this car and a lot of other fun projects. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.